Good morning, fools. Welcome to the All Jammed Up podcast presented to you by Music Never Stopped. I'm your host, Clint.
I'm your co-host, Chloe, and Clint didn't want to sit next to me today.
Well, we're all jammed up and we're ready to blast. It's time for Clint and Chloe's music podcast.
Well, not necessarily. We're just downstairs. I feel like this is better for a conversational, though.
You think so? I really just like sitting next to you.
Yeah, we say that all the time.
And
Give me a break.
It's so good. It's so good every time. We were coming downstairs, and I was like, all right, let's get this going. I want to sit on the couch with you. I like doing it.
I'm glad I like doing it with you, too.
You think?
So I've kind of come to a revelation this week with the podcast. So it started as a jam band podcast, kind of evolved to live music podcast. And my conversation with Vince the other day, we talked about musicology and like the Cajun and like how the Portuguese brought music to Hawaiians. And so many of these interviews are still like jam band interviews. Mm-hmm. And I feel as an interviewer, it's kind of getting stale for me. So I imagine it's got to be stale for the listeners to hear someone influenced by the Grateful Dead or Allman Brothers. Mm-hmm. And that's what I am. I'm a jam band guy, like bluegrass guy. So that's still going to be the base of it. But Chloe and I are going to take like a music genre, because jam band's a niche genre of music that has a bunch of sub-genres within it.
Yeah.
So I want to start picking other niche music things, spending kind of a month to dig into them, learn about them, interview people that are in that genre, and find new music that Chloe and I will talk about.
Yeah.
So this month, I've already kind of been doing it since my interview with Vince. So February's music is going to be Cajun music. Mm-hmm. So what that means is Chloe and I are going to just independently
dive in,
read about it, listen to music. We're not going to talk about it in real life. Mm-hmm. We'll just bring it back to the podcast, what we listen to. And that way, like, everyone who's listening can kind of hear different things. I'm going to try to interview people, like, within that space, too. And then each month, we'll do a new genre.
Yeah.
With your guys' help, too. So, like, feel free to send in, like, hey, maybe look, and the more niche, the better.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, if you want to hit me with, like, 1980s Brooklyn hardcore punk rock or something, like, that's perfect.
Yeah. Swiss underground house funk.
And sometimes you might send me something that sucks and I'm not going to listen to it. But I don't know. I feel like I do so many of these interviews and I love doing them. I love meeting people and hearing them. But I feel like as an interviewer, I'm starting to ask a lot of the same questions and I want to learn more.
And I think at the root of everything, we started this because we both on our own have such a deep love for music, but not so much an understanding for it. And
I feel like over the last year, I've learned so much about bluegrass.
Yeah. And like imagine all these vast other small little subcultures that we can open up and learn about. And Sam says it all the time. He's like, as adults, we need to learn. Like we stop learning once we leave school. And like a lot of the times we don't reach out for it. We don't like pick up new books. We don't figure out the new hobbies. We like stay in what we know. And it is so important to keep growing. And why not grow in something we love so much?
Yeah, like we paid. And another thing that kind of helped me with this is like we went to Taper's Choice the other night. Mm-hmm. And, you know, musically they were really good. But like they were a jam band. And like I thought like if I were to interview them, what would I ask them? Like, who inspired you? Why'd you guys want to leave your bands to do these improvise? What's staying in the pocket? Like all these things and then I went downstairs to see this alien funk farm or something.
Mm-hmm. And they were sick.
And I had real questions. I was like, how are you guys keeping on time? Like all this different stuff. So it's like, but I went to the jam band show because that's like what I do.
What we surround ourselves. We are the jam band people. But realistically, it goes so much further than jam bands. Like,
so that's kind of the new mission that, you know, and I just feel like too, like over 100 episodes in, if we just stayed the same, there was no evolution, it would never get better, you know? And like
being stagnant is never good.
Yeah, I want to bring in more listeners and like, you know, there's people that follow us on Instagram that I talk with sometimes and I've learned music from them and like, you know, I put a poll up the other day about Turnstile being metal based off and like had people telling me why they think it is or why they think
and
it
like
wasn't.
Unexpected people that were replying that like actually knew kind of a lot of that style of music, and we're like, oh, okay.
And it just starts more of a conversation. Like, how many times am I going to interview someone who saw Trey Anastasio play guitar and wanted to play guitar?
Yeah.
You know, like, yes, that's great.
And that doesn't mean that those stories are not important. We're still going to be reaching for those stories, but we also want more.
Yeah, when I started the like set 2, like I was like, I want the podcast to be more intentional. I want to be more intentional with it. And this is being more intentional for what, at the end of the day, like this is our thing, and like it has to like serve us. You know, like if I'm not having fun doing it, what is the point? Just like any of my favorite bands or any of your favorite artists, like if they're not enjoying what they're doing, how are you going to enjoy it? And if I'm just hearing some of the same stuff and not learning, like that interview with Vince, I wanted to stop it and be like, tell me more about musicology, dude. Like that little part, he talked about that for like 2 minutes. That was my favorite part of the interview. And I want to set up another interview with him. Like, maybe we just talk about that.
Yeah, just give me history.
And this interview today with Jeff, like, we chatted for a few minutes after the interview, and like he got into some musicology, and like just there's so much more about music that is just being left on the table because we've penciled ourselves in this thing.
And we both grew up with, I would say, a very vast, like, music. We were listening to a lot of music. Obviously, we didn't know each other, but independently, like, the music that we know, we were hitting a lot of genres. And then, we kind of came into this and tunneled ourselves in a little bit with the jam band bluegrass scene, which we love so much. But we also know that we love this hardcore scene, and we love this kind of, like, pop rock scene and this funk.
Don't us into pop rock.
Okay, I kind of like pop rock. Or like this funk scene. Like we went to that show the other night, and the bassist downstairs in the Animal Funk Farm, whatever they were called,
slapping the shit out of his 6-string bass.
Playing in, everyone that listens to this a lot knows that I am an avid Flea fan. I think he's one of the coolest bassists, one of the first that I was ever introduced to. And he was playing in a way that you could hear like that same funk bass that Flea plays. And it made me so excited because I've never seen that in person. You don't hear people playing bass like that anymore that I've been around.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it gave me a whole new excitement for bass. I started looking up, how do you teach yourself bass again? I went and I started playing the other day again. And it just like, there's so much more music that we are not touching that we want to uncover.
And I feel too, as an interviewer, like sometimes I feel as if I'm supposed to know the answers to the questions I'm asking already, you know? And maybe I think that's just in my own head. But if I'm interviewing someone about something I know nothing about, I'll just feel so much more comfortable
going into it with them understanding that this is new to us.
Yeah, so that's just, it's something that I've been thinking of, and I didn't really know how to like verbalize it or make it happen. And Chloe and I sat down last night and kind of, I was like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What do you think? Yeah. And we think it's going to be great.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I think, like I said, we both have such a deep love for music. I think it's like a very exciting way that we can learn and we can help others learn and like find new genres.
Meet new people, yeah. Because like, I usually get in my car and like I would put on, I don't have Nugs right now, but like I'll put on whatever band I like's Nug show so I could come here and talk about it.
The next Billy Strings show or the next Dog show.
So I can come here and talk about it. And like I probably will do that for Billy Strings and Dogs because they're two of my favorite artists. But today I got in the car and I just wanted to listen to Dead Kennedys. Yeah. And it was like, that was, I forgot how fun that was because sometimes I'm just trying to like, I'm so focused on just the jam band thing that I do on the podcast. It's like, I don't have to do that. Nobody's paying me to do this.
Sometimes you want to listen to a little Ed Sheeran or a little Sabrina Carpenter. Sometimes it kind of hits the spot.
And I think it'll end up being better for you guys too. So the first one for February is going to be Cajun music.
If you are tapped in any way, you've heard a little lick, you've heard something, a band, send it our way. We're excited.
We answer, or we at least look at it. We answer everything on the Instagram.
Yeah, unless it's like a spam or someone being a bit cuckoo. But our DMs are open. We do, and our comments, we do everything we can to make sure everyone gets some form of reply.
And I think you'll listen to this interview with Jeff Sipe, and I think you'll also be like, I see also how he got there with that. Because, man, I felt like I was just missing. There's so many nuggets that Jeff had that we didn't have enough time, first of all. We'll definitely do that interview again because he was really awesome. But I was just so focused on learning about jam band stuff that like he had so many other nuggets to teach me about in the jazz world that's like more his world that I just missed out on because I was like, I'm the jam band guy, jam. And it's just like such a fallacy, and it's like a missed opportunity for better conversations, better interviews, and all in all, better podcasts that we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that the people that do listen often and kind of feel like they have this relationship with us, they're going to be okay with what we put out as long as we're like still trying. The music is the heart of it.
Yeah.
And as long as we're pushing like these artists and these stories and information and education and like just learning and experimenting and growing, like no one can really get too mad at that, I don't think.
So that's enough rambling from us. This is the longest intro I think we've ever done. We have an awesome interview with Jeff Sipe coming up here. It is Billy Strings Week here in Asheville, so on the back end, we're going to preview some of that. So yeah, let's do it.
Hell yeah.
Jeff Sipe, ladies and gentlemen.
Honey, you're listening to some all jammed up.
How you doing, Jeff?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for coming over.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me.
The studio.
Yeah, over here in Brevard. Is this where all the mature Asheville musicians migrate to?
Yeah, we do have rehearsals here. I teach here. And occasionally we get family come by and they're able to stay here.
Yeah. I saw that you played at 185 last night with Travis. Are you over there a lot for those shows?
Yeah, occasionally. Now, Travis does Tuesdays. He's been doing that for 4 years, I think, there. And he keeps it real diverse. So his friends from the road, when they're coming through, they'll come by and they'll do a special show. But as well, he has his own band, the Travis Book Band, and I'm in that one. We have a record together. We recorded at Landslide Studio maybe 2 years ago.
Okay, so was last night friends or was it the band last night?
It was the band.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because I know he's always up there, but I've only been to a handful of times, and it's been with the friends.
Yeah.
It's hard to get out here sometimes from Asheville.
Yeah, we find that maybe more Brevard people go to Asheville than Asheville people.
Yeah. So did you live in Asheville first and then move here?
No, I came from Atlanta.
Okay.
The plan A was to move downtown, live right in the thick of it in Asheville. But as we were looking around, we discovered this place, and it just made more sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice little setup you got here. So you were in Atlanta for a while, but I saw that you were born in Germany.
Yeah.
Were you there for long? Did you kind of have a childhood there?
2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 2 years old when we moved to Saigon, Vietnam. And I lived there from roughly 2 years to 5 years old.
Okay.
And then moved to Bangkok, Thailand until I was 8.
God, was your dad military?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And were you playing? Did any of I guess you were so young there, but were you starting to play drums there? Like, did that influence you at all?
I picked up drums in 6th grade, and I was in Frankfurt, Germany.
Okay.
So my junior high school years, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, were in Frankfurt, Germany. And it was a small school, but they had a band, and I wasn't much of an athlete, so I figured, well, I might try some music.
Mm-hmm. Did you come to America for high school?
Yeah. I was in Fairfax, Virginia.
Okay.
Chantilly High School for all of high school years.
Nice. I grew up in Virginia Beach area.
Yeah.
Went to school at JMU.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so not too far.
Mm-hmm.
So playing the band, was it just like marching band when you were in middle school in Germany?
It was a concert band.
Concert band? Okay.
Yeah, at the time we were doing some pop music that, was fresh from the radio. I remember Lean on Me.
Okay.
The classic song. Bill Withers.
Mm-hmm.
That was fresh when I was in maybe 6th grade. So there was an arrangement for the school band to play that, and that was the first time I got a chance to play ride cymbal and a snare drum, not just snare drum. I could get into the drum part a little bit, and that was a thrill. The beginning of it all.
Yeah. Was it something that kind of clicked for you? Like, did you have a knack for it, or is it kind of something that was tough for you and you had to work on a bit?
Oh, yeah. Everybody has to work on it. It was, I remember my first couple of lessons, just learning how to play a double stroke roll, or a 5-stroke roll, and witnessing the magic of the sticks kind of doing it by themselves,
Mm-hmm.
And I was hooked right away. This is too cool.
Yeah. Total side note, now that we're kind of in childhood, when you go to your website, it says like Jeff Sipe and then in parentheses, APT Q-258.
My nickname, Apartment Q-258.
Where does that come from?
Bruce Hampton.
Okay.
Yeah, see, anybody who worked with Bruce Hampton or was in a band with him, they got a moniker or a nickname.
Mm-hmm.
His contention was that nobody is who they say they are anyway.
Okay.
So he finds something to celebrate about somebody, and there's no escaping it.
Yeah.
From the first night he introduced me as Apartment Q-258, the following years I was always Apartment Q-258. When I left ARU, I joined Sean Lane and Jonas Hellborg to do a trio, and they listed me as Apartment Q-258 as well. We had a European tour coming up, and they got a list of the band members' names and everything, and they assumed that Sean and Jonas were bringing a drum machine, the APT Q-258,
Yeah.
rolling whatever. They didn't know that it was actually a human being. So a little bit of mystery is good, but...
So there's no like he didn't give you any rationale. He was kind of like, this is your nickname now? No questions asked?
It doesn't make any sense, but I'll say it anyway. I guess in the 80s and 90s in Nashville, there was, every Sunday, there was a broadcast by a man named Prophet Omega, who was an evangelist. Mm-hmm. And he broadcast out of his apartment Q-258, in Kent Mount apartment buildings on Old National Highway or something like that.
Okay.
And he was a real character. And a lot of the musicians in Nashville would tune into him and record him on cassette and pass it around, so it became kind of this celebration of Prophet Omega. And Bruce one day was just like, I've got it. I've got your name. You're the apartment. Doesn't make any sense at all. But there you have it. That's where that came from.
How'd you get linked up with Bruce?
That's a good story. Okay, so I moved to Atlanta in '83 from Boston and started working with some of the jazz cats down there. Dan Wall, Sonny Emery, great drummer, Ricky Keller and Randy Honey, Bill Hatcher, a bunch of great musicians down there. So we were playing at this down in Virginia Highlands, Walter Mitty's jazz club. And I was playing with Dan Wall, and he asked me, hey, I've got a wedding coming up in the North Georgia mountains. Are you interested in doing a wedding gig? I said, yeah, great. Any chance I get to play with Dan Wall?
Yeah.
Yes, no matter what. So we get there. I set up. Bruce is the last one to arrive. He comes up the stairs all dressed like he just woke up, just crawled into some clothes and came. They had a young man helping him with his amp. And the amp was only this big. It was a little Princeton or a Champ amp, really tiny. And so he plugged
But he had
in.
someone else bring it for him?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And so we say hello, we meet, and okay, so our set starts and we're playing music. We're playing some real sophisticated kind of jazz background music, for this appropriately for the people to finish their dinners and whatnot. And I hadn't heard Bruce play. He had his guitar, but I didn't hear him tune up. I didn't hear him turn on.
And you'd never seen him before, heard of him?
I had no idea who he was.
Okay.
So it sounded good and it's groovy and it's appropriate. And all of a sudden, Dan Wall, the keyboard player, he looks over at Bruce, who's on my right. Dan's over here, Bruce is here, and he gives him the go ahead and take a solo. Bruce turns all the way up and starts playing random notes, all out of tune. And I was like, what? I couldn't believe it, man. The audacity. What the hell is going on here? I look over at Dan, and he's laughing his ass off. And he's trying to... I'm looking at the relationship here. Bruce is going completely out to space. And Dan Wall is trying to figure out what he's doing and accompany him to bring him closer into the music. I realized, okay, this is the relationship they have. It's just celebrating the absurd, and that was the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. What was your initial impression of this guy? Like, has someone else carrying this little amp, kind of just is out there for the solo? Were you like, this guy's cool, or like, this guy's, I don't know if I want to hang out
My first reaction was like, this is not cool.
Yeah.
It was like, and I looked, at the wedding party, and they don't, they're not disturbed by it. And Dan's just like I said, he's laughing his ass off, trying to reharmonize him. That was his challenge. After the gig, it was just like, okay, I had fun, great, nice to meet you. And then the next day, Bruce called me up, said, I've got a gig at the Harvest Moon, be there.
Were you hesitant?
No, I was really kind of intrigued.
Okay.
And I get there, and it's a who's who of great musicians, like 15 people on stage. And it's all improv, not a single
was this by
recognizable
chance,
song.
Like Monday night Atlanta jams? Is that what this was?
Atlanta, it was just a pickup gig.
Okay.
Yeah, one of Bruce's gigs.
Okay.
Yeah, it was not a steady thing.
Gotcha.
But so I get there, and we set up, and we start playing, and it's all improv. And man, we're going places. We're doing things, and there's no rules. And because of the players being so good and have such great ears, they were able to make real magic out of nothing. About the third song into it, I was just having a blast. And I looked over at Randy Honey, the guitar player. I said, I think I found my calling. And he said, I think you have too. And that was the beginning of our relationship. For 38 years, I played with Bruce on and off.
Prior to that moment, were you pursuing to be a professional musician, or were you still kind of figuring it out?
No. I'd gone up to Boston to study at Berklee College of Music and I was up there for 6 years. Then I realized how difficult it is to work in Boston. Even the greatest musicians up there, are struggling to get gigs. So a friend of mine, Dan Matrazo, keyboard player, who was he was in the dormitory, like across the hall from me. He had moved down to Atlanta. We stayed in touch, and he said, man, just come down to Atlanta. You'll get a gig right away.
Yeah.
So I was struggling in Boston, went down to visit him, and the second night I was there, I got a gig.
Was there a difference in the kind of music that you were playing, like in a tight, polished place like Berkeley, and then was it kind of like Southern rock vibe down in Atlanta at that time?
No. The cats that I was playing with were kind of like smooth jazz guys.
Okay.
R&B.
Gotcha.
A heavy backbeat. Boston is more ethereal.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't about the backbeat. It was about polyrhythms and, Elvin Jones and Tony Williams and, really going deep into the rhythm, more for art's sake.
Yeah.
And then I get to Atlanta, and it's all about 2 and 4. And so it was
and that appealed to you more?
It was a boot camp for me. Like, I wasn't used to just playing the groove. I was used to starting something and going somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
But so that, like I say, it was boot camp for me. Vance Taylor, fantastic keyboard player, a really good friend. Simon Carter and Dan Hofflinger. We had a top 40 band together, and we worked 6 days a week. And then I was working 7 days a week, picking up other gigs and stuff.
Okay.
But when I met Bruce, it was an art thing and a vehicle for full expression. Mm-hmm. And no other gig allowed me or anybody to play whatever they're feeling at the time.
Yeah.
There are rules, this gig you play this, you play these songs this way, But for Bruce, it was really just a portal to go into the unknown.
Is there like one just moment of magic that sticks out? Like even before the Aquarium Rescue Unit, when you were just playing those gigs with him, that kind of sticks out?
Every night.
Yeah.
Every night was magical. Every night something happened. Every night we found ourselves doing something that we'd never done before. And a lot of the times the music played us. And there were long gigs, man. We'd play 2-hour first set and 3-hour second set, be up there for 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, just didn't feel like that at all, though.
No, man, it was so much fun. Yeah.
What do you think's that kind of, after his passing, where do you think that's kind of been the closest experience you've had, that magic you felt it?
The three, four now bands that I can say that are an open invitation to go anywhere you want at any time, using our musical sensibilities, of course, would be ARU with Bruce, Sean Lane and Jonas Hellborg trio. That was stellar. And the new band I have now, New Dawn Starkestra with Isaac Haddon, Rebecca Todd, and Quinn Sternberg. It's the same spirit, man. They're there. They're listening hard. They're playing their butts off, and there's no taboos, you know.
Yeah, playing with like such a deep alumni that you've played with like throughout your whole career, and then how did you how did New Dawn Starkestra? Did you kind of like see the three of them separately and was like, I want to be a band, or like how did that kind of all form together?
Well, I had been concentrating and even praying on the idea of having another vehicle like that, musical opportunity to go, you know, just deep into what I love the most. And all my prayers have always been answered. Be careful what you wish for because it comes true. Right?
Yeah.
But in my case, you know, it's all joyful. So I had been concentrating on, you know, and looking for that kind of thing. So there was this gig with Daniel Seraph, great guitar player here in Asheville, and Rebecca Todd, who I'd never met until that night at the Eulogy. It was a Jake Wolf bass player. It was his gig, and he got the four of us together. I mean, into the first and second song, I was like, wow, who's this singer?
Yeah.
Just
she's got a voice.
Wow, man, can go and go. She's got more gears, you know, just when you think, oh, she's at the top of her range and power, she just doubles down, you know. It's so I had been looking for that, and I thought that night, okay, I got to give her a call. I've got to try to get something together. So Quinn Sternberg I met on a Jill Francis gig when they were the Naughty G's, and they were playing at the Gray Eagle doing a John Prine tribute, and Quinn was on upright bass, and it was just amazing, you know. Playing with a great bass player makes any drummer sound better.
Why is that?
Well, their command of time, space, long and short notes, dynamics, just everything that he and his caliber of musician do is just always the right thing.
Yeah.
You know, and so it was like, who are you? We gotta play again.
Yeah.
So he gave me a CD, and I drove home. It's about a 50-minute drive from Asheville to Brevard. So I listened to his whole CD, and then it started to replay again. And I was like, oh, man. I got home and texted him right away. I was like, man, this is great stuff. We got to play. So that's how I started. And Isaac Haddon and I had played a few gigs together, and I already knew this guy. There's no stopping him, man. He's going to go all the way. So I thought about those guys, and in my mind, it made sense.
Yeah.
So I just gave them a call, and they all said, okay.
Yeah. I've seen you guys a few times now. Does Quinn ever use the stand-up bass in your guys' gigs?
Once. Yeah, we did kind of a laid-back gig. After Hurricane Helene came through, we did a benefit at 185 King Street.
Okay.
And there was some acoustic and electric stuff going on then.
Okay. Now, you were part of the Horde tour, right?
Yeah.
For the people who don't know what that is, can you kind of explain that, and then what your experience was like doing that?
What a horde! A horrible name. Horde, hordes of hippies. But it was horizons of rock developing everywhere, and it was Dave Fry and John Popper from Blues Traveler.
Okay.
They were kind of the masterminds behind it. And so the first tour was only, was it 4 bands and maybe it was 8 bands and 4 dates. And there was some New England dates and some Southern dates. So
just on the East Coast, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That first year, right. And so Fish was there, and Spin Doctors, and Blues Traveler, Corey Medeski, and then later on Medeski, Martin Wood, and I mean, there's a bunch of great bands.
Yeah. And what time period was that at?
That was like 91, 2, and 3, 4, so early 90s, I think.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
I think so.
was, like the jam band like timeline is like the Grateful Dead, and then there's like a mix of all those bands you kind of said, and then I guess Fish you could say, and then it kind of just blows up into all this different kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Being a part of that like early 90s, did you kind of realize like it was going to be like that as important as it became at the time, or you just kind of living in the moment during it?
Like the jam band scene?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Jam goes back to cavemen,
Mm-hmm.
Humans have been jamming since day one. So it wasn't like a novel idea.
So is your take that like the Grateful jam band is before the Grateful Dead even? Like it's been, this whole improvisation thing has been going on far before that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think very early humans were jamming.
Yeah. Okay.
Improvising, stealing licks from each other, hey, show me that. So I think the jam band scene was just a collection of bands put together, kind of designed to welcome that approach to music, where there's some freedom.
Yeah.
Like you play the song, but then you might have a 20-minute guitar solo or something. Yeah. No, I don't think I realized what was happening in terms of coining the phrase jam band scene.
Yeah.
It was just the scene we were in.
Mm-hmm.
But then I guess as music was developing and bands were developing, there were obvious like genres, like, okay, this is kind of more of a jam band, this is more of a groove band. They don't jam as much, they just groove,
Yeah.
And then there's the cover bands and top 40 scene and all that.
What's the difference to you between like just a groove band and a jam band?
I think they overlap.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. In my mind, a groove band is going to probably stay true to the song throughout, and a jam band might leave it entirely and go somewhere else and create something new, more improvisational. Yeah, I think the word jam kind of invites improvisation.
Yeah. Okay. There's the zombie sound, which is I say that right? Zambi sound.
Zambi.
That's not something I'm all that familiar with, but like I see it with like Bruce Hampton, and I just kind of want to like dig into you a little bit, like what you think of that, what that means to you.
Well, Joe Zambi is a person.
Okay.
Joe Zambi was a friend of Bruce Hampton's, a scientist for the CDC. And he would hang out with Bruce when Bruce was doing his comedy. For a while, Bruce left music to do performance art as a wrestling manager.
Okay.
And he managed this fictitious wrestler called the Iron Claw.
Okay.
The Iron Claw. And that's how they met in coffee houses and comedy clubs.
Hold on. Bruce Hampton was wrestling the Iron Claw?
He was managing the Iron Claw, who was the wrestler.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And they had his whole skit, So Joe would hang out with Bruce, and they became real good friends. And Bruce is one of a kind cat. You'll never meet anybody like this dude. He gets into people. He celebrates people as they are, and all their quirks. And if you have something real different about you, that's magnified 100 times. So he would find people and celebrate them. And he thought Joe Zambi was worthy of a religion, Zambiism. It's no explaining it.
Yeah.
It's not going to make sense to anybody. But that was the funny thing about it. Every time Joe Zambi would walk in the room, everybody would drop what they were doing and do the Zambi chant. Zambi, Zambi, and he would walk through the room like royalty, Yeah, it was just fun. Bunch of kids, bunch of grown-up kids having fun.
Yeah. What do you think, like, I know you kind of said he focused in on, like, things that made people unique, but, like, what do you think about Bruce Hampton, like, made him so special? Because To me, he's pretty new to me, but every time I hear someone speak about him, they speak like I've never heard a negative word about him.
Oh, sure, yeah. Bruce was a conduit, a magnet for musicians, especially musicians who wanted to play outside the box and, improv. So a lot of the greatest players that I met through Bruce. We just flocked to him because he gave us permission to be ourselves on stage. And though he wasn't really a musician, Bruce was a musicologist. He knew where things came from. He knew who got what from who.
Yeah.
All, from the old blues players all the way through modern music, classical music and everything. So when he played the chazoid, which was an instrument with a guitar body and a mandolin neck, it was a bit of a Frankenstein put together, real crudely. Didn't sound good. The instrument was just it was laughable, but it was part of the charm. And when he played, he didn't play music; he played sounds, and we called them transmissions because once in a while, when he is approaching music like that, and he's playing a solo, it's not in any key, it's not in any tuning, it's random notes, but the spirit behind it and the spirit that he played with was much more powerful than the music being played. His conviction, to see this guy standing up there with this crazy monster instrument, playing random notes so confidently, it was hilarious. And once in a while, he'd get onto something that sounded like just pure genius, like the best thing you've ever heard, but it was accidental.
Yeah,
it would happen when it happened.
Was it ever like? I mean, there's got to be moments of pure genius, but on the opposite, there's got to be moments where he just kind of fell on his face. Was it ever like being in the band with him, like that kind of frustrating?
No, because we realized early on our job was to put him up on a silver platter, and his job was to tear it all down. And we would just laugh. And early on, we were playing 1990 or 91, 1990, I think. ARU kind of formed at the end of 89 into 90. And there was like 15 musicians that were coming through at that time. There was one gig in particular at Little 5 Points Pub, and we used to play there for 99 cents, and we'd pack the place out. And right in the middle of this jam, we're playing, I guess we were sounding too fusion, too jazzy. Bruce stopped us in the middle of a song and said, "What is this, Berkeley?" And we all laughed, and he just went into his random notes, with full confidence.
Yeah.
And we all we got it. It was like, oh, okay, he's trying to get us not to play our influences. He wants to hear us. He doesn't want to hear me play my hero, and each of us in the band had heroes, and we got a lot from those players and sounded maybe a little bit like them. But Bruce didn't approve of that. He was like, I want to hear you.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear the pedals. I don't want to hear Steve Morris or Steve Gadd or Jaco Pastorius. I want to hear you.
When you played with like Sean Lane and like Phil and Friends, did they welcome that, or did you kind of keep it back in the pocket a little bit more when you played with those guys?
That's a funny thing. When you think about Phil and the Dead and how much they improvised, it's like a huge percentage of the music that you would hear in a given night was improvised. But the songs were the songs.
Yeah.
The lyrics were the lyrics. But the instrumental parts, the solos would go places. But after playing with Phil, I did 3 tours with him. And the solos every night, completely different. And Phil didn't want any one person to stick out. So it wasn't like, okay, guitar solo, keyboard player, different musicians passing it around. When the instrumental section came into the music, everybody played like a school of fish. One note would suggest to the other person, to go here and do this. But he would have talks with everybody, and he was like, "There's no soloist in this band."
Yeah.
And that was difficult for some people.
Was like we mentioned the like very deep alumni, Jimmy Herring, Phil Lesh, like all these guys that you played with that everyone knows. Was there someone that you played with that like maybe didn't get the shine that you felt they deserved and really stuck out to you, or really just felt like you clicked with?
There's a new cat right now. Just give him time, and he'll be taking over the world. Carson Moore on banjo.
Okay.
He's up at Berkeley on a full ride right now. He's from Greer, South Carolina. Spends time in Greenville when he comes back. We have a trio with Asher Hill on bass, and that is as much freedom as I've ever had.
Yeah.
Similarly to Sean Lane and Jonas Elborg.
That's a unique trio, banjo, bass, and drums. What kind of like...
But close your eyes and you wouldn't know it's a banjo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because he plays in standard open tuning banjo, but he's playing stuff that you've never heard a banjo player play before. Yeah. It's ridiculous. He's studying with Mike Stern.
Okay.
Right now, the guitar player. And developing his harmony and his theory, and his chops are ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, the world will be hearing about Carson Moore.
Okay. I feel like I've maybe seen the three of you guys play at One World or something before.
Yeah, we did that once.
Okay.
And we did Kava Bar 3 or 4 times.
Gotcha. Cool, yeah.
And that is definitely not like a money gig or, in other words, any chance I get to play with those cats, I'll play with them. The money doesn't matter, because that musical expression, once again, is, they allow for deep exploration.
Okay.
In my world, man, like life is long, but life is short too. So you ought to be doing what you really want to be doing if you can pull it off.
Yeah, 100%. Are you going to any of the Billy String shows next week?
I'm not sure. I gotta look and see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that's
we're doing Guitarmageddon.
Okay.
That's
you, Kaiser, and Isaac?
Yeah.
Okay. Where's that at?
Third room.
Okay.
I haven't been there yet.
Okay, that's a cool spot.
Okay.
That'll be a fun show with the three of you guys. I thought it was just Isaac and Kaiser, so that's cool.
That's how it's advertised. But John Ray will be on bass. I'll be on drums. It's real cartoonish, man. It's, those guys ought to be wearing capes while they're playing. Superhero guitar shredding.
They're crazy,
over
the two of them, for sure.
It's kind of like Spinal Tap, It's just, we're going to give you too much now.
Is that a pre-show or after show?
I think it's after show.
Okay. I saw you at the after show in Charleston for Panic last summer. Mm-hmm. I was there and I was like...
Poorhouse?
Yeah, I was at the Poorhouse. I think it was the Reckoning played or something.
They have a local band down there with Wallace Mullinax. Jeff Caldwell. Great players down there.
Yeah. They're is Wallace and the Bears Gone Fishing?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
I know he's a fisherman.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I've bumped into him a couple of times at the river, just at random.
Really?
He said he spent his youth up here on the Davidson River fishing.
Okay.
So I'll take Boris, my dog, and we'll go out there, and once in a while, I'm just like, hey.
Is that what you like to do when you're not playing, is fish?
Or just take the dog to the river.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Labrador retriever, and that's his favorite thing.
Shouts out Boris. He's a good dog. He greeted me.
He's the best.
We're coming up on our time. I know you got a lesson coming up. But before this interview, I asked Isaac, I was like, what's a couple things that Jeff might nerd out about? And he was like, he just got this new gong he's really stoked about. So I want to hear about the gong and like, what's the intention of using it on stage?
Oh, man, I've always loved the deep bass of a big gong, and all the small gongs that are more tuned to definite pitches are great. It's just something magical in the Overtone series when you hit a nice, well-tuned gong. It's just so satisfying. It I don't know, it rearranges my DNA. If I spend 10 minutes with a gong getting sounds out of it, then I'll leave the room. I'm a different person.
Does it just make different sounds based on where you hit it?
Yeah, let's get the gong shot.
Gong show.
Get the camera to it.
Right. Well, you've got these guys. These mallets are not for striking, but friction mallets. So you rub them against the gong to produce sounds. These are called flumies. I just love the name of the flumies. I get more traction on the back end of this gong. So it'll be this kind of a technique. You can see it. And it's really about activating the vibrations. And then with this guy, the E mallet, you can get more like talking noises, whale sounds, and like voices. Same with these dudes.
Gong show with Jeff.
Now I realize that my car's too small. So I'm gonna have to get a van. I'm gonna have to get a van to carry all these drums and gongs.
You can feel it.
Yeah,
You can
yeah. The bass waves go right through you.
Feel it when that's
They vibrate your
crazy.
bones.
So will you use those on stage?
Yeah.
Okay, during like a guitar solo or something, or
The band New Dawn Starkestra is able to play groove stuff, psychedelic stuff, really hard rock stuff, and funky stuff. But the psychedelic stuff we like a lot too. So typically we'll open a show with sounds.
Yeah.
And the gong might
Okay.
be part of that. And it just bring in different sounds, and I'll start a groove, we'll hit a tune. Nothing's talked about. We have a 5-minute rule. Like back in Aquarium Rescue Unit days, we had the 5-minute rule. Means you go on stage and you don't play a song or anything that you're familiar with for 5 minutes before you start the first song.
nice.
Yeah, and that forced us to listen. It opened our ears, challenged us not to play licks, no riffs, no rehearsed phrases. It's just like beginner, like what does that sound like?
That's awesome.
But it's done in a way that brings the audience along. And it doesn't stay out there for too long. So we'll introduce a psychedelic sound, the tapestry, and then we'll go into a groove. And because of the dynamic difference between a structured song and completely free music, each of them sound better next to each other. The out sounds more out next to in. The in sounds more in next to out.
Okay.
So, but by contrast, you're bringing people deeper into something just because of what they've heard before.
Awesome. Well, Jeff, thanks so much, man. This has been
you're
a
welcome.
blast. Before we wrap up, is there anything that you want to plug?
Let me see. Yeah. The 20th of February, we're at Asheville Music Hall, New Dawn Starkestra. The 28th, we're at Amp Jam in Sewanee.
Nice.
We have a Sunday show there.
Awesome.
A Saturday show, excuse me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I will definitely be at the 20th show.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to see you guys again, so we'll definitely be there. And again, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You just got jammed.
Well, now it's the boys are back in town.
That's our first guest on the new.
Who even is that?
I don't know. I want to say the Clash.
Probably like Radiohead.
The boys are back.
I used to have my toothbrush. I had a Tooth Tunes.
Oh, Thin Lizzy.
Thin Lizzy. Never heard of that.
That was my first guess too, and I don't know. And I second guessed myself for the Clash.
I feel like I had a Tooth Tunes toothbrush that sung that, or maybe Tom and Oliver had that one, and then I had.
That would be funny if they gave the girl "The Boys Are Back in Town" too.
I do think Tom and Oliver had that one, and then I had a different one. I can't remember what it sung. It was another like rock song.
It's Billy Strings Week.
Billy Week. We've been waiting since last February for this to return.
We're recording this on Friday because Chloe works all weekend and Super Bowl Sunday, so we had to get ahead of this one.
Since we're talking about what day of the week it is, I woke up this morning 6 o'clock, ready to go to work. Was exhausted because we had that late night kind of conversation, brainstorming about the podcast, and so running off like 5 hours sleep, maybe get myself to work, which is 45 minutes away, and clock in, and then I walk over to the nurse's station. They're just like, "Why are you here?" And they fucking moved my day without telling me, which is very inconvenient.
I feel like they should pay you for that.
I'm gonna get a minute's worth of pay because that's as long as I was clocked in. I was like, I'm not gonna stick around for them to tell me to stay.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna hear that they need it because I'm not working 4 in a row. But it's okay. I had a nice day. Enough. I took a nap. I needed it. I went to yoga. Healthy girl.
So yeah, this will go out on Monday. So Billy Strings' schedule this week. So Tuesday we're gonna be doing a lot podcast. Mm-hmm. This is all weather permitting, as long as it's not freezing or raining.
Yeah. Well, I mean, last year it was pretty damn cold.
I think Tuesday's supposed. If it's cold, that's fine. But if it's like raining, I'm not gonna be out there. I think it might be rainy one day.
Yeah.
But Tuesday we're gonna do one, and Friday we're gonna do one. So come find us. Saturday we have the Billy Strings pre-party at French Broad Brewing. Mm-hmm. I think Friday and Saturday is the after party with Vince and Silas from Leftover Salmon. Sons of Stars is an after party on February 14th. Sacred Hollow. Kaiser George Shadowgrass is 13th. And then I think Isaac and Kaiser are doing Guitarmageddon with Jeff Sipe on drums one of the days.
That's sick.
He probably actually just talked about it in the interview, but I don't know if that was on air or...
That will be sick.
Yeah.
Guitarmageddon.
Yeah, he said it's just like crazy. They did it at a festival last year, I think.
I think Isaac Haddon is such an impressive guitarist. He's one that we don't see enough, I feel. Like, we don't go and see him enough.
Yeah. New Dawn Starkerster next weekend. Definitely want to go check that out. Mm-hmm. Well, we haven't really been doing... I mean, we haven't done anything. Cold.
Yeah. But don't worry. I already feel so much more encouraged just after... Like, there's shows popping up now.
Yeah.
And it has kind of changed my mood recently. I've been itching to dance. I've been itching to wiggle. I'm getting my flow toys back out. Mm-hmm. I'm excited.
This week's
Quint's juggling awesome. Has hit a whole nother level. I can't wait for you all to see it. If you haven't been checking the Instagram,
Juggle Beast.
He occasionally posts.
Do we have a topic to debate today?
I do have a topic. We're gonna go TV series.
Okay, so we have to break this down.
Okay.
Because the best season of television of all time is True Detective Season 1.
And you will die on that hill.
Yeah, you can't convince me otherwise.
Yeah.
And then the best comedy is The Office.
Okay.
But you could, like, Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec was my comfort show for quite a while. I think I've watched that show through maybe the most that I've ever watched a show through.
I would like to watch all of Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I would like to, what's the one with I started watching Rats. It's got that boy that kind of looks like a weasel, Michael Cella. It's got him in it, and
a show with him in it.
Mm-hmm. And it's got that guy that we like also. That was in the movie. That was the really bad brother.
What the fuck are you talking about? Michael Cera TV show.
Michael Cera TV show. And it's got the guy that was like so bad and got all the money and his brother and he killed himself.
Arrested Development?
Arrested Development. Can you... Who's the actor that I'm going long
Jason
over?
Bateman?
Jason Bateman. Yeah.
Oh,
like
okay,
Jason
from
Bateman.
the Rabbit. Okay,
Oh, the Rabbit. That was a good.
that was a good show.
That was a show. Yeah, I started Arrested Development, and then I think
I didn't know Michael Cera was in that.
he's young.
Okay.
I think I maybe watched like the first 2 seasons, but it was in the beginning of when we started dating, and so when I stopped. No, that wouldn't make sense because I didn't have a TV when we started dating. Anyway, I like that show. I haven't gotten into it enough, but that's one I'll watch.
Reno 911.
That's funny.
Sketch comedy. Breaking Bad.
Okay, so my top choice was going to be Breaking Bad. You're taking them all. You're just steamrolling them all.
Well, these are the best ones. These are
But this is a debate. We got to have both.
It's not a debate.
But you're just taking all the top cards off the table.
That makes it not a debate. Then it's just a conversation. We're in agreement that these are the best.
Breaking Bad is the best. I am a really big fan of New Girl. I think that is my comedy. Just kind of dumb and like giggly.
If I had to choose a dumb, giggly one, I like. There's a show on Netflix I used to watch. I think it's called Bad Moms.
Oh, yeah. I
like that one.
I think we maybe watched that together, but you were very into it.
The mom, like, they start, like, selling drugs.
Yeah.
And she, like, kind of is into the drug dealer, like, the Hispanic dude.
Yeah, you were watching that, and I would, like, you would watch that when I was at work, and so I would come in and, like, watch an episode or two.
I kind of liked that one. That one was entertaining.
Bad Monkey.
Bad Monkey's a great TV show.
Bad Monkey was really good, but I will say they lost me at the end. I think they could have handled the end better. Throwback show that I really enjoyed at the time that I watched it was Lost.
I never watched that one.
You never watched Lost? Mm-hmm. I think that had its time. And when that was out, I was watching it with my parents like weekly as it was coming out, which was very nice.
I used to watch Survivor every Thursday for years.
I never got into Survivor. What game shows did I watch? You're
Family
a big
Feud,
game show guy.
Jeopardy.
See, I don't do the trivia game shows because I'm
Family Feud's
a wee bit daft.
Family Feud's not.
I like
trivia,
the Steve Harvey one.
That's Family Feud.
Well, what I like about that is I like watching funniest moments of Family Feud.
Name something you don't want to see in your backyard. Naked grandma.
Give yourself a round of sausage.
That was a good one.
I'm
really good at Wheel of Fortune. That's my game.
So one thing about me is I'm a real sore loser.
Yeah.
I know that I'm not very fun to play games with because it changes my mood. And Clint is kind of a
good at them.
A fucking excitable winner. And so when you get a sore loser playing against an excitable winner.
And I win a lot. You forgot that I win a lot.
Because he does dumb things like puts words down like globed.
That was one time.
Then you told me there was no B in it.
That was one time we played it. The first
there
time
was the second round we played.
Okay, whatever. First day we played that game. What about?
I'm bitter.
Yeah, you are
bitter about that one.
And guess what? She hasn't beat me since. Actually, you beat me one time.
Actually, I did.
We can't play Scrabble.
We
can't play Scrabble anymore.
I hate Scrabble. I do really like Rummy Cube. I'm good at Rummy Cube. But Rummy Cube is fun because I like to get high with it, and then just everything becomes so.
It's like that video of the dude from The Hangover, and it's like all like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Or like The Matrix, just numbers. I do become that.
Do we have anything else music related we need to talk to?
Wait, we're not done with TV shows.
Okay. I'm going to go. Okay, think of 5. Let's do. You pick one, I pick one, and we'll do 3. Okay?
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors for first pick. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Nice.
All right, so you got first pick.
Breaking Bad.
True Detective season 1.
I'm watching through Mindhunter at the moment, and other than it being very dark, like vision-wise, it's a very dimly set series. I do find it very interesting. I don't know if it's one of my top 3, but it's right now one of my tops.
So you're
I'm
going to pick
watching it. No, I'm going to pick New Girl.
So you just told us about Mindhunter for shits and giggles. I'm going to go with The Office then for 2.
Okay. And then my third, I'm trying to like think back. This is one of the shows I enjoyed the most in my life. And I might get a little, this is me being a girl. Vampire Diaries.
I remember people liked that show.
I've watched Vampire Diaries through 3 times. That got me through high school and college. I was watching Vampire Diaries.
I would go Jeopardy.
Yeah?
So now the only shows I can watch the rest of my life are The Office, True Detective Season 1, and Jeopardy.
So I've got Breaking Bad, New Girl, and Vampire Diaries. I'm kind of in.
That's pretty solid too.
Yeah, that's all the genres I need.
So that's what we'll do going forward on this. How we'll finish the debate. Pick 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Look at us figuring things out as we go.
Yeah, and when you pick it, it's off the table.
Okay. What else do we have? Billy Strings. We talked about Billy Strings.
So we could kind of circle back I guess we don't really need to. I wasn't the biggest fan of Taper's Choice.
They didn't have a lot of energy.
No, and so we were at Music Hall, and there was a show at One Stop going on, and it was kind of like the hardcore funk, and they were pretty loud, and it kind of threw off the Taper's Choice fellas. Yeah, I felt like they didn't really get into a groove.
They didn't let the keyboarder take control.
Okay, keyboarder was sick.
Of the show, yeah.
My favorite thing was he would be headbanging, and then as he was headbanging, he would have to push his glasses up.
He was like a mad scientist.
He was big old fluffy hair. Yeah, but it was really nice to get out, and I'd been getting a little bit stir crazy in the house the last couple of weeks, and I don't usually get that way.
Mm-hmm. Also, I think they're a new, like they haven't been a band that long. They're all clearly talented musicians. I'm sure they'll get. It's probably still feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be wrong. Too.
I mean,
when they've been a band,
when you switch, because I would assume for a lot of them it is kind of like a switch in genre. It definitely is for Mr. Vampire Diary guy.
Vampire Weekend.
Vampire Diary. Sorry, I'm still on the TV shows. But yeah, I agree. They'll find their flow, and it's a new band, so you got to learn how to play with each other and like where you got to be able to read each other to be in a jam band, and that they can all be very talented musicians, but they got to find that chemistry as the 4 of them. And obviously we went to one show, so like they might not have wanted to play all out because they're about to go on Jam Cruise. They just got invited last minute invite to Jam Cruise to take over for someone that dropped out. So we might have just had an off show, and that's fine. But
you win some, you lose some.
Exactly.
All right, guys. Well, we have a fucking fire week happening here in Asheville. Thursday's episode, we'll recap Tuesday's show because he plays Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So we'll have a Tuesday recap. And then on following Monday, we'll probably do a whole Billy Strings recap.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
So maybe we won't recap so much Tuesday. But we'll talk about energy and shit, but
yeah,
maybe not recap the show
itself. So it's going to be a great weekend here in Asheville. If you see us, come say what's up. Come get a sticker. Come find us on lot. We'll be doing interviews pretty much right in front of the entrance to the right. In front of Romans. You can't miss us. Yeah. Come say hey, get a sticker, tell a story.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Love you guys. Have a great week. Stay safe. And remember, wherever you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be.
Well, all jammed up, hey, that's where it's going down. Best damn pot in this old Asheville town. More than enough old stories to go around. And I'm all jammed up right now. Yes, I'm all jammed up right now.